How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a good October so far. I thought I'd release a video because I haven't in a minute. I've been kicking around some ideas and I even made one that I didn't end up releasing, but I really wanted to get one out there. So I'm making this and it's just kind of a shorter video. I'm just going to tell you 13 scary movies that you can watch this October. You've probably heard of a good amount of these. You've probably seen at least some of them, I would hope. But, you know, I've got a good mix of some classics and I've got some ones that I think flew under some people's radars that I thought were at least worth a watch, even if they're not the best film. And so, yeah, here's 13 scary movies that you can watch. These are in no particular order. They don't go from like least scary to scariest or anything like that. I'll give a few details about it, and then we'll just move on to the next one. The first movie I want to talk about is John Carpenter's remake of The Thing. This is a great movie. Amazing practical effects. A lot of like body horror, tons of suspense. It's just, it's such a good mystery too. It is a great one. If you have not seen it, definitely one of my highest recommends I could have on this list. The second one I'm going to recommend is more for the timid people. Maybe, you know, you don't want something that scary. Would be Coraline. I love Coraline. It's definitely more of a children's film. But I will die on the hill of it being awesome, because it is awesome. It's got a really fun vibe. I love the animation of it, the stop motion. No, it's super cool. If you want something that's more chill, not gonna scare you bad, definitely recommend that one. The third movie that I think I would recommend to you guys is Oculus. This is a Blumhouse movie. It's about a spooky mirror. It kind of reminds me of It a bit too, with the way that it kind of goes between different points of time. But yeah, I feel like this one flew under a lot of people's radar. It is one of my all-time favorites, but I think it is definitely a solid horror movie, worth the watch. I don't think you'd regret it. Now, the next movie I'm going to talk about is Scream. And really, I do like most of the Screams, but I am just talking particularly about the first Scream here. This is definitely a slasher movie, and I would suggest it more for people who have seen at least a couple of slashers. I feel like you'll get more out of it that way. But if you haven't, and it's your first slasher and you jump into it, yeah, no, you're still going to like it. I bet you still have a good time. You may just miss some of the things about horror, because it's very meta. It's very talking about horror films, and you may miss a little bit of it, but I still think you'll enjoy it a lot. The next movie I want to talk about is Drag Me to Hell. This is a Sam Raimi movie. He also did like the Evil Dead movies, which this is definitely more tame than that, and definitely kind of different vibes, but definitely still a solid horror movie. May give you some good spooks in there. But yeah, I don't think you'd be disappointed with it. The next movie that I want to tell you guys about is The Blair Witch Project. Now this one is definitely a slow burn. It takes a while. I've shown this to people and they did not like it at all. Most of that because they didn't give the time to really invest into it. I think if you do, you will have a great time with it. If you're willing to have that patience. If you're not, that's fine. Maybe skip this one. But yeah, if you do, it takes a lot from the audience's imagination, and I love it. It's definitely one of my favorites. Another movie that I have to recommend to you guys is Rear Window. This is an Alfred Hitchcock movie, like Psycho, The Birds. This is actually one that I was shown like a long time ago when I was pretty young, and I've loved it ever since. It got remade into Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf, but so believe it or not, this one's a bit better. Not that I hate Disturbia. I still think Disturbia can be fun, but no, it's the classic. It's the OG. It's great. Check it out. Well, I hope that you can't hear the shower for the rest of the video, because my brother's currently taking a shower. I tried to yell at him to get him to not right now, but he did not hear me. So we're just going to move on. I mean, if you could hear me yelling at him, let's hope that the mic can't hear him shower. The next movie that I want to talk about is Trick or Treat. It's an anthology horror movie. It's got like 4 stories that kind of intertwine. I found out about it a couple of years ago when I went to Universal Studios and they had like a haunted maze for it. Yeah, no, it piqued my interest and I had to check it out. I wasn't disappointed. I had a good time, and I've seen it a good amount of times since then. I've even bought it, so I definitely recommend it. The next film that I have for you guys is called Martyrs. It is a French film, so you'll probably need subs unless you just know French because you're that cool. I know a couple of you may. But no, it's probably one of the roughest ones I would recommend on here. Like I say, definitely still some gore, maybe even a bit of body horror, if I remember correctly. I've only seen it one time, but I do remember it made pretty good impact on me. It's actually the way I found out about it was Your Movie Sucks. If you haven't watched Your Movie Sucks on YouTube, he's fantastic. Love Adam. But yeah, I would definitely recommend Martyrs. It's a lot, but if you want more of a lot and you're like, all these seem like they're going to be nothing, check out Martyrs. All right, we just got a couple more for you. The next one I'm going to suggest is Friday the 13th, and particularly I'm going to suggest Part 6. I think if you want to jump into them, I think 1 is a good one. I also think 4 is a great one. But my personal favorite is 6. I think it's just cheesy and silly. Like, they really know what they're doing at that point, and they're just leaning into it. I don't know. It's just it has a special place in my heart. Definitely not a scary one. Just a fun Jason movie. All right. The next film that I'm going to suggest is The Cabin in the Woods. Now, kind of like Scream, I think that you'll get more out of this if you know a bit more about horror movies. But then again, if you're just jumping in, I think you think you'll still like it. I think you'll just get a bit more if you're in that situation. I don't really want to say much more about it beyond that, just in case you don't have it spoiled for you of what happens in this movie, because I think it'd be better if you didn't. But if you do, just go and watch it anyway. It's fun. All right, second to last one. This is The Shining. Yes, of course. You've probably seen The Shining. If you haven't seen The Shining, I don't know why you haven't seen The Shining, because it's fucking great. A little bit more of a slower burn. I wouldn't say it's as slow of a burn as like Blair Witch, but definitely it takes a while to get going. But you know, it's a great one that has a really like thick tension, makes you feel uncomfortable like through the whole thing, which is a good thing in a horror movie. Yeah, Shining's a classic. Definitely recommend it. And last, but certainly not least, is one that I bet most of you have never heard of. It's called Murder Party. I found this movie a few years ago, and I've just, fallen in love with it. I'm definitely going to say that this is probably one of the hardest sells on this list. I think it's the one that most people would not like. But I absolutely love it. It is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's very artsy. It's low budget. Expect those things. And just kind of go into it with an open mind, and I think you'll enjoy it. I would hope so. If not, then yeah, you can blame me. Write a hateful comment about how I wasted an hour and a half of your life. But I love Murder Party. It's about this guy who gets invitation to a murder party, and I'll leave it there. And that's all 13. That's all 13 movies that I've got for you guys. I hope there's some new ones that you can go and see, and maybe there's some old ones that you can revisit. Regardless, I hope that you have a fun and spooky Halloween season. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and I will see you guys in the next video.